Hi everyone. I want to give you a little update on my Comp Book 2020 project. As I told you last week, I'm working on filling my composition book with information about the national parks. One of the reasons I want to do this is because one of the things I want to do in our travels is to see the national parks. I don't ever think that I'm going to see them all, but I would like to try. There are 61 national parks and 419 national forest, lake shores, historic sites, parks, all of these battlefield parks, battlefield sites, military parks, battlefields. So there's an entire list that's under the national park system. This composition book is designed to be research. That's what I have chosen to do with it. I will show you what I'm doing in it right now, but one of the reasons that I chose to do this in this composition book and chose to put my tabs not all the way down is because I have also, when we visited the national park this last fall, I collected things I would have liked to have put into a book. So what I have done is I have found what kind of book? Declaration of Independence. It must be a history text book in my stash of books that I'm going to turn into a journal. But what I want to do is I want to put a pocket that will allow me to put this composition book inside this book so that when we travel, I have my reference guide, and then I will create this book that will give me information of what we actually saw. And my little collection of things that belong in the park from the different parks and different places we've gone. We've visited national parks and parkways and things like that before, but in our new RV travels, I would like to actually document them. So while this is Comp Book 2020 project, this is going to be another ongoing project. So I will show you more about that later, and I want to show you what I have actually done in my comp book for right now and what I'm going to do today. One of the things that I decided was that when it comes to research, this list that I was trying to put in last time and had to shrink, it tells me what states these things are in, but it doesn't give me, for me to look for them for our travels, I need to know what state they're in. So what I did was I found a different list that actually broke each set of the parks down by state. Now there's actually no national parks in Alabama. There are national monuments, there's a national military park, a preserve, the Natchez Trace Parkway, which we've actually hiked different sections of the Natchez Trace Parkway and Scenic Trail. Russell Cave National Monument, but there's no actual national parks. So what I've done is I took that list, I took it apart, and what I did was just simply using a glue stick, I've glued them in. Now, shoot, shouldn't talk and stick. It's rather crooked. There we go. So after I did that, I went around each one of them. I gathered together some washi tapes because one of the things that is supposed to be about this particular composition book project is to make it fun and a little bit artistic. So one of my goals this year is to use more washi tape because I have washi tape. Don't ask me why, because I don't use a lot of it, but I love it and I hate it. I do not like that washi tape doesn't stick. You know, when I was buying so much of it and I thought it was so pretty and everything, I didn't think about how often in what I do, it not sticking was going to be an issue. So I have to glue it down. It's just one of those things. So I really want to use more washi tape in my art this year. So what better place to start than in my Comp Book 2020? So I've gone through and done that with each of the, I have a couple left to do, but as you can see, I have put these in here for each state. Okay? After that, let me set that aside. I had painted these fun painty papers, and I watercolored these. When they dry very tie-dye looking, and I really love them. They're yummy. But then I cut a strip off that's just a touch over 2 inches wide, and the reason for that is it allowed me to make 4 strips per piece of paper. The paper was 8.5 inches wide, so if I went a touch over 2 inches, I could make 4 of them. And then using my tab punch, which I really do enjoy this punch. And guys, I will put a Amazon link, Amazon affiliate link down below in the description box to this punch. And as you know, Amazon affiliate links or associate links do pay a couple of pennies if you happen to purchase something. But please don't feel the need to. I just am telling you. So what I did then was trim this off and create a tab. Need my okay, and this state is Alabama. And then I simply glued the back of the tab to the back side of the piece of paper and the front of the tab to the front of the piece of paper. And I'm using this Tombow Mono liquid glue, and this is one of my favorite glues, and there again, I'll put you an associated link down below if you're interested. Okay. And then if you place the back side of the tab on the back side of the piece of paper, fold it down, and as you can see, I have glued in my tabs for all my states. So I now have a list of all the parks, and you can see here the actual national parks are underlined in red. I thought it was very interesting. There's only about 27 states that actually have national parks in them. And we have a national park in the American Samoa, and And I think one in the Virgin Islands is another place that there's a national park, which I was kind of, yes, and in the Virgin Islands. We have a national park there. So that was kind of a revelation to me. I did not know that. So I've gotten that far with this. And this is not a project that's going to happen overnight. That's for sure. Then I had told you I wanted to use these pens, these Pilot G2 pens. I thought I had a package where they were all different colors. And I'm guessing I didn't get them because I like the 05s and the colors come in 07. So I have red, black, and blue in these pens. But I wanted to have something else that did not bleed through. So I hunted up my Micron pens. These Micron, Pigma Micron pens. They have archival ink. They're permanent. You do want to let them dry before you get them wet, though. I have them in a bunch of colors. And I did some testing with them on my back page. Eventually, I'll cover it up with something. And those pens don't bleed through. So I will be using those pens along with my Pilot pen. So today, while you're here, I want to do kind of a mind map thing. I think I'll just do it right here. And sort of think about what other information I want to find and put in my comp book. So if you're not familiar with a mind map is trying to think up the questions or it takes you off in and helps you to think about things in the who, what, why, where, when, how, and who, what, why, when, where, how. I think that's the way, all the ways you have to look at it. But you start out with something like national parks. And then you ask yourself a question. What do you want to know about the parks? Well, that's an awfully general question. So I want to know about these parks. I want to know what state are they in? Okay. Well, I found that out by finding this list where each state it's broken down by which park is in what state. But, okay, once I know what state they're in, where are they in each state? Okay, that is probably the next thing I'm going to be working on. What I need to find are maps that show me where the different states are. So I'm going to I think I'll leave my pen in there. And I'm going to turn to Utah. Because in Utah we have Arches National Park. And Arches is up in here somewhere. This doesn't, oh, that's Arches right there. Okay. And then Canyonlands National Park is there. Capitol Reef National Park is there. Now that's a recreation area. Glen Canyon National Recreation Area is that first one. Bryce Canyon National Park and Zion. So they're all located in this one central section of Utah. But I will need to go through and find out where some of these other places are and actually put them on the map as well. That's my plan, is to find a map and work through it. Now, we're also planning a trip. So, our trip is to go west. I probably won't be looking at Virginia right now. I will look at the states that, and hunt the information in the states that are on our trip plan first. So it'll probably be where we go across Mississippi and Arkansas and Texas. And therefore I will be taking a look at the different states first based on our trip. Okay, let's go back to the mind map. By finding out where they are in each state, I can, and having them on a map, I can look to see if we're going to be anywhere near them when we take our trips. That's the plan with that. Now, another thing I want to find out is what is each park's highlights, or what are they known for? Like, I'm sure that in Utah, the natural, where's Utah again? No. Rainbow Bridge National Monument, that's probably a natural bridge, or Natural Bridges National Monument. That's, I'm sure, a natural bridge. Tangos Cave National, it's probably a cave. But I don't know anything about those parks, so Capitol Reef National Park. Okay, Capitol Reef National Park is in the middle of Utah. Okay, what about it is the interesting highlight? Okay. One of the other things I've thought about here recently is what else in each state might be what she said, I can't miss travel destination. My thought is that this mind mapping kind of thing will help me to figure out what I need to find for each of my parks and my states and the parks within each state. Mind mapping is something I can't do and talk at the same time, so this is something it's something I'll probably take a look at maybe every morning for a few minutes and think about it for a few minutes. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. A research project is usually something that's ongoing. When you want to study something, you want to study it for a period of time. You aren't going to find all that information in just a couple of minutes. So that is my Comp Book 2020 update, and I hope this is of interest to you. I hope it's not boring you to tears. If it is, then I hope you will just click on the next video in my list. I'm sure I have quite a few videos that might be more interesting to you. This one is interesting to me, and I'm hoping it's interesting to y'all. I'm going to read you a quote from my 1001 Ways to Creativity. As a creative person, your line manager is your own heart. Okay, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.